We'll see what the options are going to be in the mid lane, because they have been choked out pretty hard with that Cassiopeia being taken off the table from it being picked in game 1 with Akali being gone. So JDG, you have a first pick. What would you like to do with it? Pick a Lee Sin or something like that. This is a champion that has been so good this split. And I know it's not JunJia's style, but I think it would fit pretty well. Instead, we are first picking Victor. Not the biggest fan of that.
It is a flex, which I'm not the biggest fan of here, because we know Gala on majors. Maybe this is the turnaround game. Maybe this is just hubris. Could obviously be going to HongQ, and most likely will. I'd say 90% chance it goes to HongQ. Tons of pairings in the jungle with that. Xin Zhao, Lee Sin, like you mentioned. Could go to Qiyana as well. Pretty good with Victor. Gonna be the Trundle early here from LGD to stop Xiaoxu going something like a tank on the weak side. And with Jarvan banned, not a ton left that can really survive the Trundle's invades, unless your name is Shun and you can play Kindred, which I don't know if JunJia's bringing out the Kindred. To this Trundle, pretty scary, locked away with the Nautilus too.
I think the Nautilus helps out a lot. I don't like a lot of LPL junglers on Trundle, and I think the reason why is a lot of these junglers that are the bottom half of the group here in Ascend really struggle with getting into a fight, which is why I like things like a Lee Sin, like an Afiri, like a potential Qiyana that's easy to get in. Instead, Trundle is I walk at you, and I really hope that I'm able to put down a really nice pillar to be able to catch up to you. And a lot of times it doesn't work. The Nautilus does shore that up. So this Qiyana lock-in, it does provide a little bit of CC, as well as a good amount of damage. And whenever I see a Victor in the mid lane, something like that's what I want out of my jungler. I want guaranteed CC. It's not necessarily guaranteed, but it's decent enough and good damage to be able to make sure that if you get in a 2v2, you can close out on a kill with good target selection.
So ideally here, you'd want to go a top side, like a tank, right? You've got Assassin and a Victor, but because of the Trundle, can't really just blind pick a tank here. So instead, it's going to be the Rel pickup into... Whoa!
Shaoye Draven. The pocket
pick Draven. It's not an easy Draven game. There's a lot of interrupt to stop him catching his axes, but it's a very confident stance. I mean, he suffered last game. You're not going to be suffering this game, at least in the lane. Gala's not going to pick a mage. This is LGD saying you're not picking a mage because Draven cannot lane against mages. You're going to pick something like Kai'Sa Rel into this comp, and Draven will eat you for breakfast.
Good ban by LGD, taking out that Olaf. You don't want anything that can just find a creative flank angle and then just run at the Draven and eat him alive. We'll see how JDG is going to respond. Still need a mid laner, potentially a top laner. So you can focus out these solo laners. That Annie getting taken out. So you're losing out on some, CC to start a fight, laning a 2-man Timbers or something like that. If I'm LGD, I actually am considering banning an AD carry here. I consider banning this Misfortune because I think it's one of the champions that this combo can kind of stand up to a Nautilus Draven in the laning phase.
Definitely could be an option. Banning away the Ziggs. Now, even though there's no success here,
the
is something Gala is still happy to go towards, and it is really tough for Draven to play. So Gala would have to go something like the MF like you mentioned here. Go for more of a team fighting focus. Won't be winning the lane. Or take the Victor or pick something else that has a ton of range. Like a Vel'Koz, like a Mel. Or he can take like a Varus, I guess, could work, but it is tough. Gonna go over to the LGD side here, though. I think you just pick a solid top lane here. Renekton is great. The Sylas.
Now there's an idea.
I don't mind it.
Okay, it is going to get locked in. Magnet Storm is a pretty big steal to have. Now, just the question is, are we sure the Sylas is going into the mid lane? This is a matchup that can be very difficult early on, but once you get to level 3, you can sort of flip it as long as you haven't taken too much damage.
If the Draven goes anywhere but bot, I'm throwing a riot. I refuse.
Draven top does exist.
I will be so mad. Renekton here, blind. Makes sense. It's most likely going to be a Jax answer. My interest here is, what is Gala going? Is he taking the Victor? Is he going to pick something that can fight with the Draven like the MF, like you said? Or is he going to try to sacrifice his lane? Hold on. This is pretty good into Draven. Like I was saying, Mages, good into Draven. Ton of range. He's going to pick it up.
I think that will go to him on the bottom side. Obviously, there is a world where Xerath could go mid lane. Not sure if we live in that world, Jbetto, but I do like the idea. It's just a matter of the execution. And frankly, if JDG want to be contenders, Gala needs to be able to play some of these champions in his back pocket. LGD will lock in the big Chungus Dr. Mundo. The question is, where is he going? It looks like he is going to be positioned up in that top side. Not too shocked there, up against that Renekton. So not going to have the jungle Mundo, but lane Mundo.
I love this LGD comp. I think it's awesome. Silas has great targets. He's got Supreme Display of Talent. He's got Dominus. And like you mentioned, he's got both the Storms. He's got the Arcane and the Magnet Storm, which are both good on him. The Trundle has a target in the Rel, especially when she's crashed down. But the Pillar is devastating into the mages this game. The Mundo, terrifying. And the Nautilus Draven, while the Draven can suffer, if the Nautilus gets a hook, the Xerath's still going to die. This is another game that Shaoye is probably going to suffer a little bit, like he did in the last game. Probably not as much, as Xerath doesn't have as much playmaking potential. But I think LGD have a ton of tools to take over the later this game goes.
Yeah, and it's another game where I am putting the spotlight on Heng. That first game, it was a little slow-paced in the early going, was kind of shut out from making an early impact on that Naafiri. But as you pointed out with those mages, these pillars are going to be very important. The flank angles that he decides to take are going to have to be well, warded, well cleared out, and try to go surprise them, drop the pillar, and these mages can go nowhere. Over on the other side for JDG, I hate to make it the cop-out answer, but it's got to be Gala. He has not shown that he can play these mages, Jbetto. He's going to have to show it now. We are on Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. JDG LGD starts now. I think it's a microphone issue. I think it's a microphone issue because there were some lively gyos there. But also, Jbetto, we need not be alarmed. We did not hear Jindong Man in Game 1. He was definitely there for Game 2.
Yep, didn't see him on the camera, but I know that voice anywhere. I hear it in my dreams when I dream about Jindong Gaming winning worlds. Nice hook here. Early start.
Is that what you're dreaming about? I mean, you know what?
I mean, I could
LPL team wins worlds. I'm happy with it. That's fine.
LPL team winning worlds is definitely what I'm dreaming about. JDG's an LPL team.
They are? No way.
I've heard.
What?
I've heard.
What league is this?
I gotta
Where
ask
am I?
I need a really important. There's a really important question I need to ask.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay. So I think we need a name for the AI predictor, or the AI.
I think the AI
MVP.
predictor does have a name.
What? I need to know what it is. And if he
can't
doesn't
remember
have
what
one,
it is.
if it doesn't have one, we need to make up a name. It probably should be a Mandarin name, but we need to have a name because he's just a guy. He's a little AI. I need to have one. I need help from my friends on the LPL who are native speakers because he has to have a native name if he doesn't already have one.
I'm 99% sure it does. Because I remember having this conversation at the tail end of last week, but I cannot remember the name for the life of me, and not gonna be scrolling through Discord while we're in the middle of calling a game between JDG and LGD here. All has been pretty quiet. There's been a lot of back and forth down in this bottom lane. Shaoye has got a small lead. Interesting to note that he's got this cleanse. I'm not too surprised by that. It is very difficult to try to fight through a Xerath as Tangyuan will ding level 4, has been taken very low by HongQ. No real surprise there.
Yep. Has to go the Doran shield start.
Jbetto,
Showing
you
you how
have your
tough
name
this
for the
lane is.
AI if you want to talk about it now.
I need to know what it is in Chinese though.
Oh, in Chinese? I mean,
I
haven't
you
gotten
know,
that far in my Mandarin classes.
it's okay. Maybe we can do it a lesson on the podcast.
Maybe. You know what? Maybe. We'll have to get producer Guy on that one. We're seeing JunJia take a look at the mid lane, but nothing too crazy as we've just had regular clears. We've got some scuttle crabs, and all is relaxed for the moment. Xiaoxu has a small CS lead. We've seen multiple hooks down in the bottom lane. Now we are seeing Shaoye burn his cleanse to force the flash out of Vampire.
Interesting cleanse, much shorter cooldown. Maybe a potential punish from Heng. Could also see early dragon started up from LGD, as the early fight is much superior from LGD around the dragons. JDG need a lot of time in the fight specifically to get stuff done. They need to poke down. They need to have range. Their team fighting is a lot more difficult than LGD's just hit whoever is in front of us. They probably die anyway comp. I'm really concerned about this Mundo. I've been thinking that this champ is good for a while. I watch Alo's videos. I've seen the clips. Everyone has. But especially against mages, he is really, really good. Because you just can't kill him. There is a good amount of CC in this comp to hold him in place, potentially stop him ulting. That is one of the biggest ways you can counter Mundo. Get rid of his spell shield and then CC chain him into death before he can ult. I don't know if there's enough damage to actually chew through this health bar consistently enough, especially if he gets ult off. If he gets ult off, level 16, he's got the level, like the level 3 passive of his ult, he is not dying. And I'm really concerned as to what JDG are gonna try to even do into this. Dragon's up, LGD have prio, JDG have to take a back seat around this dragon.
And if you're focusing down Burdol first, I mean, that's just going to allow everybody else on LGD to feast. A lot of healing on that team, so we might see a heal cut item come in a little bit later. With Shaoye and Crisp putting in some really good work on that bottom side, this does mean that the dragon will go over to LGD. A little bit of a warding mission done by JunJia up on that top side. He's going to take care of that top crab, which should get him to level 6. Shaoye taking a lot of damage here from Gala. And if Gala was level 6, maybe a Rite of the Arcane would go down and deal a lot of damage.
Waiting for... Whoa, if that had hit,
that was,
Chris would have
that
died.
Was crazy.
Shaoye's taking a lot of damage, but here's Heng.
Yep, good stun on the Heng there by Gala. It will force his flash out. Shaoye is even lower. Gala is not quite there at level 6 yet and really wants to get close.
He's going to hit on this wave, I think, and that's why Shaoye needs to run away. Or he's very close. Another Q would have done a lot of damage to Shaoye too. He's actually going to sit here and just wait. A little bit scary. Again, Gala very close to level 6, did hit it, but he's taking a base. Yeah, what is happening with that minion? I saw that before. Must be just spectator bug.
Yeah, that happens in-game sometimes, where a dead minion just kind of shows up there. It shows a health bar, but like actually doesn't go anywhere. It's not clickable or anything like that. It's rare, but I've seen it happen in my games before. One thing that I've seen in my games before is exactly what Shaoye just did. He takes a recall and he buys the boots. Such a valuable item against these mages like Xerath. Doesn't want to take all that much damage anymore. He's got the Vamp Scepter too, so any poke, he's kind of able to heal up after a couple of auto attacks. So a wise decision there from the LGD 80 character.
I'm not sure what he's building though, because I'm pretty sure BT is BF sword, pickaxe, and then Vamp Scepter, right? So he has an extra long sword. Delaying this spike a lot really hurts Straven. You'd love to have BT as early as possible, and he's consistently needing to base for with not enough gold. JunJia down in there here in the bot lane will be spotted by this ward. Heng also hasn't gone for any kind of invading so far, which is pretty standard on Trundle. Fairly slow early game across the board. Just the dragon for LGD. Couple, some scrapping in bot lane, but No, neither JunJia or Heng trying to do anything sneaky on the map. Just farming it out, waiting, get enough gold, and maybe these grubs.
Yep, and with the grubs happening, everybody's going to show up in the mid lane. It's a good pillar, but there's no follow-up to be had by LGD's. Tangyuan about 70% HP. JDG going to take full control of the topside river for the moment. Gala's going to head back down to the bottom lane as Shaoye is going to now move up. This will give LGD the man advantage since Gala does not have a teleport. Xiaoxu is also very low, so JDG may have realized they might not be able to contest as Heng has started up these grubs. Does have that sheen. And LGD's support in mid lane holding the line here.
All right. Position for LGD. Really thought Gala was going to stick around with his ult available. But ends up just dropping that. Shaoye will move down. I believe that was all 3 grubs to Heng.
It was.
So this is a comp that loves that. Right? Mundo Trundle. That's very scary in a side lane. 3 grubs can do a lot of damage to towers.
Push,
LGD
push.
already have the first Drake. They're able to give dragons and, you know, try to punish side lanes, get some towers down, get some gold onto these important champions, sorry. Very much an option for LGD.
Yeah, the good news for JDG, while they did give up these objectives, is that their mages are scaling, and that's really what you're looking for, is for them to get their first and second items. The right of the Arcane is going to go down. Not going to take Shaoye too low. He'll heal at most of this, but once HongQ and Gala get their items, once Gala finishes his first item, it'll be infinitely more dangerous. Once they're both on second items, it's going to be so difficult for Shaoye to try to play out this game.
First item's getting completed. The Cyclo Sword, the Eclipse, the Blackfire Torch. None completed yet for LGD, so JDG, if this maintains in the next 30 seconds when the dragon spawns, we should see LGD give this dragon because they are significantly weaker on these item spikes than JDG is because they have these spikes completed. Gala doesn't have the ult, so that is a bit of a concern, but a lot of members down here on the bot side.
Not only that, Jbetto, a lot of them are early spikes. The Cyclo Sword is the one that I'm really watching out for. It is such a tough one to try to play against as Tangyuan gets forced out, will stay alive, but will not have a teleport to rejoin. So he'll be forced to recall, lose a lot of minions, and JDG will be able to secure their first dragon of the game, the second dragon overall.
All right, so now we're Infernal Soul, right? Oh, nice. Very nice.
Great. Good call. Good call.
Gotta be. Chemtech in the ocean, we can't have a bad soul, guys.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Burdol.
This is
running
not
down
good
Gala.
for Gala.
Yeah, the infected cleaver's doing a lot. Vampire will finally show up. The exhaust gets used.
Okay.
But Burdol will be able to walk it out
Spell
just
shield,
fine.
right?
Like nothing ever happened.
Sorry, that's Spellbook TP. Oh, no. Okay.
A spellbook exhaust, yes.
Yeah, Spellbook exhaust. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, no real reason to use it like that.
We're trying to make the play. Immediately, Vampire teleports up to the top side to show up. Crisp holding wisely. JunJia trying to come in through the lane.
This would be a lot of stacks taken down. Xiaoxu's
Oh!
well
Money!
played, Shaoye. Well
Money!
played. And now Mundo down the bottom in the lane. Bot lane, sorry, pushing down the tower. Chris.
With 3 grubs. Crisp hooking to the wall. JunJia going to flash after him. Supreme Display of Talent lands. And that's going to be first blood going over to the JDG jungler.
Yep. Great champion to get this first blood as well. But like you mentioned, the 3 grubs down here in the bot lane are a little concerning. Xiaoxu will rock up here and collect what's left of this wave. But JunJia getting that early gold is right at the arcane is going to miss. Very much so. So Shaoye went double longsword, right? And then sold one of his longswords for BF sword. At least I'm pretty sure. The last time I checked, you can't upgrade a smaller sword into a bigger sword like this.
What if you had
And then he bought another sword, and then he bought another 2.
What the heck is
really
going on?
confused as to what is going on in Xiaoye's build path, because he has got to be This cannot be correct. I refuse to believe this is correct.
Okay. The only thing that I could think of is that if you have the extra damage to be able to get a cash out, it will pay off in spades. It'll be worth the gold that you lose and more.
He's up gold and down an item though.
Yeah, I understand that, but you need to have this damage early because if you don't convert and you die,
let's see,
you don't get your cash out, just like he does there. It's worth it, baby. The problem is, Crisp dies on the backside. Heng will be able to retreat. Tangyuan showing up just to dissuade JDG, and Xiaoye proves Jbetto wrong and cashes in big time.
My bad, guys. Just get a cash out. Why didn't I think of that? Shaoye obviously did, guys. Guys, it's time for my cash out. Please come bot and mind control HongQ to walk forwards into Draven with flash up. Don't flash. Now Xiaoye's dead.
He flashed the Supreme Display of Talent, and he is taken down. Supreme Display of Talent from Tangyuan missed, but they will be able to find JunJia on the backside. It's Tangyuan picking up that kill. Teleport coming in here for HongQ just to keep the push going. Crisp is down here to match, so that teleport's not going to yield much but an auto attack onto the turret.
All right. Good fights here for LGD. Shaoye is able to pick up the BT. What do you know? Just get a cash out and then you're up gold. You're up nearly 1,000. You've completed an item, plus boots and 2 long swords. Awesome. All right. Well, JDG try for a plate. They end up getting Shaoye, but they lose members in the process. Now I am concerned again for JDG because the Dragon is a minute away. The Herald is 20 seconds, and they are very, very much weaker. JunJia has 3 kills and is only up 500 gold. That's not really good enough in a game like this. Maybe you can try to one-shot this Draven, but Silas isn't getting one-shot.
Well, Dominus for Dominus here. The question is, how long is it going to take them to actually kill Xiaoxu? He will slice and dice, but the chase is on as Burdol burns the flash, and Burdol will pick up the kill. Herald being done. No. It looked like they were for... Yeah, okay, they're on it. Vampire was covering up JunJia over there.
There's a TP in, though. I don't know if this is even allowed to happen. The Draven's coming in. He's so scary. So it ends up being that JDG get nothing. Burdol gets the tower as well. Not a great position for JDG.
No, what a wonderful sequence from LGD there. And I'm a little bit surprised that JDG did not want that fight. They are the ones with all of their flashes up. Gala has flash, HongQ has flash. JunJia will find the pick on the Heng, and it's Vampire who ends up claiming the kill. Teleport coming in. Here's Burdol. He's going to tank up a couple of tower shots. Looking for Gala. Lands that infected cleaver, but Xiaoye can't get close because the counter teleport is coming in for Xiaoxu. Meanwhile, up on the top side, HongQ with the stolen ultimate, taking his health down fairly low. Tangyuan is about half HP.
And a double storm there. But now Vampire's here. Tangyuan, I don't know if you live this.
There's big damage. He's going to try to use Vampire to get out. As that Kingslayer gets stunned up, knocked up, flashes over the wall, but JunJia's going to stick on top of him and take him down. Now Xiaoxu going to try to deal with Crisp, who hooks the wall, is looking to escape. Gala maybe on the cutoff, but Burdol's going to try to zone him off. But Crisp can't really get too far away. He flashes, but Xiaoxu flashes after him. Here comes Heng to try to turn this one around. Xiaoye over on the side, and Xiaoxu is going to be just a cash-in for Xiaoye.
Yeah, not as big a cash in as the last one, but still nonetheless 1.5k up. Burdol has a huge lead. The only saving grace of JDG this game is JunJia on this Kiana. He's going to try his hardest, and he was at like plus 400 with 3 kills. He's at plus 1.1k with 4 kills now. LGD will get this dragon. That's a really nice boon for them to pick up. But JunJia is going to continue to need to make plays like this if JDG want to win. If you take a look back, I feel like this was blind. I don't actually know if he was doing that on purpose. Maybe he was. I didn't see any vision anywhere that should indicate that he knew where Vampire was. Oh, so Xiaoxu. Who goes way too far here and gives another cash in to Draven. Bit of an overextension problem in this series for sure, Yanni, but JDG back on the Herald. Should be able to get it.
Yep, no problems there, but you are absolutely right, Jbetto. They keep biting off a bit more than they can chew, and it is resulting in plays that should be favorable to JDG, either going even or being favorable to LGD. This cannot continue if this JDG team wants to see success in Split 3. Looking to see a little bit of success here in the mid-turret, trying to avoid that pillar, and does so as the charge goes in. Crisp immediately getting taken out with the stolen supreme display of talent, and is able to take out JunJia. Now the next target's going to be Xiaoxu, double stunned by Vampire, as Burdol will back off from there. It ends up being a 1-for-1 when the dust settles.
That is a massive chunk out of the lead that JunJia had. Yes, he has 2 items, but he just dies to the ult. The stolen ult from Tangyuan.
Burdol, low,
not enough.
Will be able to heal up using that maximum dosage.
Yeah, this is what the Mundo does against mages. I feel like this is a bit of an LS point here. Why are we heralding the tower when it would have given us like a little bit of gold and giving over our fed assassin jungler on, like, serving him up on a silver platter and then giving over just as much gold from LGD pushing JDG's mid tower? Really, I don't think a good play here in the mid lane going for that Herald. I personally like using the Herald in fights, but if you're going to get a tower, that's fine. You gotta not drive it into 5 people and then die afterwards. Pretty easy way to lose quite a big gold lead, and now LGD. Yes, JunJia still has 600 gold lead, but 1.2 to Burdol, 1.4 to Shaoye, who is just trying his hardest to build every item that he possibly can. It's still working.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a garage sale and you find some really neat stuff that it's like, hey, I can actually use this, or I like this. Sorry, garage.
Like yeah, garage.
And you know what? You're like, you know what? I'll pick this up. This is undervalued. You know, you check the eBay price and you're like, yeah, this is a good pickup. That's the kind of value you're getting out of this Last Whisper.
Do you guys have Aldi?
Your Hextree. AliExpress?
No, Aldi. ALDI. Do you have that in America?
Yes, we do have
Aldi. It's like an Aldi deal, you know? You go and you're like, I have to get this. And it's just so cheap.
He's buying Aldi items. Speaking of items, JunJia builds a not often built item in the Bastion Breaker as he goes in to try to make a play on the Tangyuan. But that won't happen as Burdol will teleport and put his foot down and keep his mid laner alive.
I'm still mad about that, by the way. Anyway, I've heard some good things about Bastion Breaker, doing a lot of damage. Not just the towers, but the true damage that it can do to champions does really help against something like a Mundo. Is it going to win you the game? I'm not sure if it will. Dragon in a minute to be sole point if LGD get it. It's looking like positions are going to be LGD's for the rest of this game so far. This is one of the problems with these mages. Yes, you can push in waves. Yes, you have wave clear, but you need to be courted around the entire game, because if anybody finds you point blank, you die, because you are so easy to kill. You're so squishy. You need 2 people to walk you around the map, pushing down the tower, getting into river. Looks like JDG will have some priority over the Dragon because of some LGD base timers, but Burdol's just walking in. He doesn't even care. Look at him.
Yeah, why should he care? Yeah, I think he should care for at least a little bit, but once he builds a Spirit Visage, why should he care? You know, I don't know who's going to be able to kill him.
And he's full health again. The Bastion Breaker damage was quite nice there. I was impressed by the Bastion Breaker Cyclo Sword combo.
It hurts.
He's full health again.
Yeah, he is just fine for the moment. LGD going to take out the crab first to be able to be aware of all the vision that's going down. Xiaoxu gets in the back. JunJia going to make a big play. Finds people, but the stolen ultimate turns it around. Vampire low, goes down. Xiaoxu the next target, while Burdol is keeping the mages at bay. HongQ and Gala can do nothing as LGD put themselves on sole point.
This game is done, Yanni. That was the fight JDG needed, but they're going to lose. Infernal Soul Point and the Baron here. There will be no contest at all from JDG, who try desperately to get an ult onto Xiaoye, who lives. The stolen ult from Tangyuan is so much better. Burdol zones out both of the mages by himself. They just can't get through him. LGD cement themselves at a massive point in this game. You see the engage is great. Rel gets denied though. So does Xiaoxu. They just can't get in. The stolen ult is so perfect. Xiaoye buys time. And look at Burdol in the backline, just zoning away all the remaining damage. So well played by LGD. I believe it was the Draven E that cancelled that engage from Vampire. I could be wrong. It was very hard to see, but that's the only knockback that I see. If that's true, unbelievable from Xiaoye to deny that engage on top of him, because not all of it hit. And Tangyuan just smurfing in this second game.
It's a damn shame for if you're JunJia, because your ultimate was so damn good and unfortunately did not catch LGD's mid laner. And Tangyuan just doing his thing, making sure that this Sylas impact is known. Not exactly the most, the greatest Sylas game. We were talking about it. A couple of solid ultimates to steal, but not something you're really going crazy over. But in this case, it worked out really, really well. So we take a look at the picture-in-picture replay of what happened to Crisp there.
Yeah, Crisp gets
assassinated.
POV'd. Don't worry, guys. I'm just clearing out. I'm just clearing out this pink ward, guys. There's 5 people on me in the jungle. I'm dead. I'm sorry.
Should I have his team with him? Should have had his team with him.
Is that the play there?
Here
blaming your team.
As they're going to push up here on this tier 2 turret and be able to knock it down with a little bit of help from the health bar of Burdol. Meanwhile, Tangyuan up a little too far here, slowed up, exhausted, flashes away. Meanwhile, LGD will just continue to push. JDG has sent nobody. HongQ is in the bottom lane. Top inhibitor goes down.
Yeah, this game feels over. Mundo, Trundle, 3 grubs like we've been talking about in this game so far. I really do not see a world in which these champions have to die. And there's the Spirit Visage just picked up by both Burdol and Heng. You gotta feel like this game has been broken open. That there's really no way back in for JDG, which is surprising considering the kills, right? It's only 7 to 8, but Infernal Soul is around the corner. This massive gold lead that is so much because of towers. And I can't even blame Gala, really. Like, he had a gold lead over Xiaoye.
He's been doing his job.
Xiaoye had very little items, and then all of a sudden, the cash-in goes through.
The double longsword.
Yeah, the double longsword turns into a bigger sword, a much, much bigger sword. And now, Xiaoye's build is very scary.
Okay, they are throwing everything they have at Burdol.
Hasn't even ulted. He's just going to heal it up, guys. He's just going to heal it up.
Listen, there's some heal cut. Both of our mages have bought heal cut. The stolen Rite of the Arcane is going to take Gala to half HP and is going to allow the rest of LGD to muscle down the bot tier 2 turret as their gold lead expands to just over 6,000. Not unfamiliar territory for JDG.
He's full health, by the way.
We have seen them come back from these, but I don't know if it's in the cards in this game, as Xiaoye will cash in once again, this time on Vampire.
Yeah, this is a really terrible position to be in for JDG. I mean, there's not much to say about this. LGD are just doing whatever they want. Mundo passive, the name is being shared by everybody on LGD right now. They can do whatever they want in this game. 30 seconds until Infernal Soul. I mean, we're probably going to have to wait for a Baron in 2 minutes, but the game is done. There is no way JDG kill this Mundo. Too much damage from Xiaoye, Tangyuan, and Heng, providing the front line alongside Crisp. If JunJia hits a 5-man ult and pentakills, sure. But other than that, I don't see a way back in.
Well, it starts with winning a fight. That's at the bare minimum for JDG. We've seen LGD be forced into a disadvantageous dragon fight, and this time we're seeing it happen to JDG as the assassin Tangyuan gets the job done. He goes golden and still has a supreme display of talent over on the backside. It's only going to land on the Xiaoxu, but that's all you need for the job to be done. LGD will knock down HongQ. The teleports will come into the top side for Dr. Mundo. And LGD will now turn back onto the dragon with a couple of members here just to make sure that JunJia can't take it. Heng is going to push into the base. So is Shaoye. The minions, the grubs, one last kill will go over to the mid laner of LGD. And Jbetto, we are going to game 3.
Yep, we didn't need the Infernal Soul. We didn't need the Baron. All we needed was one more fight from LGD and a great flank from Tangyuan. Gets it done at the end. LGD's comp so much better. Front to back that game. LGD just floored Jindong Gaming.
And they break the 13 individual game losing streak, Jbetto. They have broken it. The last time they won a game against JDG, they lost the series. Like I said, 2024 spring split. That was the Flandra, Kanavi, Yagao Ruler missing roster. That is a very long time ago, but also an incredibly high-powered roster. And LGD have a chance to try to claw back the Lifetime series with JDG up 15-7. But LGD, that game just exploded once Shaoye got that cash up.
Yeah. It felt like JDG were in a stable enough position. I was still worried about the Mundo. Anytime double mage is picked and Mundo's not banned, that's the concern. When there's not something like a Vayne or a Yone or anything in the jungle to deal with it. And there was enough damage in the earlier game, but then, like you said, the cash out came through. Scaling did. LGD had control of the dragons with red side, which is a great utilization of the side selection, and took over the game. The Baron was theirs. All the dragons were theirs. The 3 grubs. A massive gold lead. LGD. They're looking pretty close to making this upset happen.
It can happen for sure, Jbetto. We saw Crisp in his last game against Top Esports hit a milestone of 8,000 assists. He's hit another milestone today, his 500 career victory. Congratulations to Crisp. As you can take a look at the damage charts, you might have all this damage, but it doesn't matter if it's all getting dumped into the Mundo.
Yeah, it's Mundo damage.
What was it? A Broken Blade over in EU, I believe. Did he? Yeah, it was him that set the new record, right? I can't remember who it was him. For most damage taken in a game. I know somebody in EU set the new record last week. I cannot remember who, unfortunately, because that was just a tweet that I glanced over and I went, huh, that's kind of neat. But oddly relevant in this game as LGD not up the series and will force a decisive game 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a frustrating, game state. You're trying this mage. This is the big... HongQ has flash here, by the way. I just want to say. He doesn't have to die here. He could have flashed and gotten away. But he didn't. This is a good kill onto Shaoye, but after that... Basically, when Straven got BT, that was it. His build is fine. And every single time Tangyuan took the Supreme Display of Talent, his display of talent was far more supreme. This is the play that really makes me mad, though. I don't understand why this is necessary in the game. You're getting 50 gold a person here, maybe. And then giving over a kill, giving over... I think it was the axe? I'll have to take a look back. Still, great fight from LGD.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It was Tangyuan making the big play when he needed to, correctly taking the Supreme Display of Talent in almost every single fight and really applying it there. That's what well and truly put LGD ahead and kept them ahead. And I think that ultimate was really worthwhile of a potential MVP performance for him. The problem is, Xiaoye did a whole lot that game too. Jbetto, I'm torn between those guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to pick Tangyuan. I'm going to say Tangyuan for my vote. I think the supreme display of talents was so good. And again, when you're saying, like, Draven did damage, and you look at the stats compared to the others, he didn't really. He got some kills. He held it down. He did his job, right? I think that Tangyuan went above and beyond in some of these fights, winning out in, like, what ends up kind of being like a mirror match in the ults, right? Ending up beating out JunJia on the supreme display of talents, and him alongside Heng, this looks so good. So much damage coming out of that duo.
It's just the case of anything that you can do, I can do better. It's Burdol who gets player of the game. I want to see the numbers of how much damage he took. Also, shout out Twitch chat for pointing out that it was Wonder, not Broken Blade. I think Broken Blade was like second on the list. My bad, guys. But
I don't watch that region.
I'm so torn on this because on the one hand, that fight only goes so well because Burdol like shoves out the Victor and the Xerath. I want to see the vote breakdown because I think this is going to be like another like 3 out of 8, and we got to see what the AI is doing.
I think it'll be split. See what our buddy has to say. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. It is almost unanimous.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
I don't agree with that either, but I mean, congratulations to Burdol. Everyone over on the official LPL really thought he did a lot. I also thought he did a lot. Is it 7 out of 8 POG votes a lot? I don't know. I do like that the only other vote was Tangyuan though. That is,
yes, well deserved. But man, if Tangyuan was not in this game, right, then maybe I'm saying it's going to be Burdol, but I don't know. Anyway, he gets an MVP. It's a one potentially stolen away from the LGD mid laner. But Jbetto, we have a Game 3 upcoming, which means it's time for you and I to take a break. And when we return, the final draft between JDG and LGD will be back after this break.